All right, joining us right now is former Finance Minister and Senior Congress Leader, Mr. P. Chidambaram. Thank you very much, Mr. Chidambaram. Monetization, I would like to ask you certain questions based on the press conference of yours as well as Rahul Gandhi's. The government has offered a lot of clarification. Now, one of the things that they have said is that this repeated stress on the government selling assets is not true. They are not selling. It is on lease. Almost like giving something on rent, Mr. Chidambaram.
Please give on lease your house to me for 99 years and I'll be quite happy. What is this? What are we talking? We have got documents which say a 99-year lease, sometimes even a 999-year lease. Who is the owner then? All this is to hoodwink the people. If the term of the lease is 50 years, 60 years, 70 years, and the assets depreciate over a period of 60 years, what is left at the end of 60 years? You can hold on to a scrap of paper which says, I'm the owner, but who will recognize you as owner for the remaining 60 years?
Now, another point that the government made, which was a point of contention for the Congress party, that many people will lose their jobs. It is going to be, there will be an impact on jobs because that's what the private sector will do. Government representatives, Mr. Chidambaram, say that on the contrary, private sector will bring in more opportunities where there will be jobs. And that is why the Congress's fear is born out of politics and not reality. They gave your own example of privatization happening in the Congress regime.
That's not correct. Many assets that were privatized have been closed down. And many cases, jobs have been lost. If the government is so confident that jobs will not be lost, let the government guarantee or insert a clause in the document to be signed between the government and the bidder that the existing job level will not be reduced at all. Let them give that guarantee, the bidder.
Mr. Chidambaram, the motive the government says of this exercise is to generate revenue, and that too in a difficult time like this when you do need revenue for carrying out various welfare schemes. Now, you've been a finance minister yourself. You tell me, in this difficult proposition where you don't have funds and the government needs money to carry out its business, what else could the government have done?
Well, they could have done a number of things. We are not getting into that. Let's get back to your claim that, of the government, claim that this is to generate revenue.
Yeah.
See, the current assets are not idle assets. They are generating revenue today. So let the government tell us if all these assets are monetized, as they call it, the maximum you will get is 1.5 lakh crore per year. That's the government's claim over a period of 4 years. So the government should also tell us what is the annual yield from these assets currently. Suppose the annual yield from these assets currently is 1.3 lakh crore. By monetization, you're getting 1.5 lakh crore. The incremental revenue is only 20,000 crore. But suppose the current yield from these assets is 1.8 lakh crore. And by monetizing it, you will get 1.5 lakh crore. You're actually losing 30,000 crore rupees. So let the government tell us what the current yield of these assets are. Without that number, how do you jump to the conclusion that 1.5 lakh crore is additional revenue? I hope my arithmetic is clear.
Yeah, it is. Mr. Chidambaram, also the government says that these are estimates, that they hope to earn 6 lakh crore rupees. They hope. Now, do you feel, and there are certain economists we spoke to, they said that given this volatility right now in the economy, the ability of the corporate sector to be able to pay as much as the government wants may not exist, which means that this figure the government may not arrive at. They may end up selling and not earning that much also.
Quite right. That's possible. Depends upon the business cycle in each industry. There could be a downturn business cycle in which revenues will not come. There could be an upturn. I mean, I can't really comment and go into the details about certain past PPP efforts, but there are cases where the PPP model did not yield the revenue which the government expected. So the economist is right. How can any government say what the revenue will be over the next 4 years? These are projections. These are estimates. And estimates are not always right.
You know, what are those guardrails that you think should be put in place so that this does not become a problem? For instance, privatization is not something which is new. It was done in your regime also. You know, liberalization happened thanks to the Congress party. So what exactly are the precautions that one can take to make sure that this process can continue?
I'm not denying that we did privatization, but we did it, Sanket, after setting out criteria, after setting out our goals. Now, what are the criteria? The first criterion we set was chronically loss-making units can be sold. Ask the government to write that. Number two, that if the market share is a minimal market share, 1%, 2%, we can sell. We sold it. Let the government write in that. And the third and most important is, we will sell if there is enough competition in the private sector. We will not sell if the sale will result in a private sector monopoly. Let the government tell us whether by selling these airports or monetizing these airports, seaports, fiber, telecom towers, they are paving the way for a monopoly or at best a duopoly. You know, I know, several sectors are heading towards a monopoly today, or at best a duopoly. Let the government guarantee that there will not be a monopoly, that a bidder who has the capacity to convert it into a monopoly will be excluded from the bidding. Please remember that the US Congress is today fighting monopolistic and
Okay, we seem to have lost that video connection on Mr. P. Chidambaram. But thank you very much for joining us. We'll stop for a short break at this moment, but news and updates will continue on the other side.